Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing my friend's makeup again for you guys. So this is my friend Monica, and Monica usually doesn't wear any makeup at all, so I want to keep the look really soft. We're going to be doing a really nice natural glam. So we're going to be starting off by using the Catrice Prime and Fine Fixing Spray. As you guys can see, she's definitely not used to this step, but this is really going to prep her skin, hydrate her skin, and get it ready for some face makeup. But I'm going to be starting off with her eyes today, so I'm using the Makeup Revolution Concealer in the shade C6 just to prep her lids for some shadow. And then of course we're going to set that concealer. I'm going to use my Anastasia contour kit in the shade light to medium, just mixing the two light matte shades and setting that concealer down with a Real Technique setting brush. And now moving on to the brows. Monica has such nice brows already shape-wise, so I really just wanted to slightly fill them in. I didn't want to add any thickness, and I didn't want to make it look too much like an Instagram brow. I was really only filling in some sparse areas because, like I said, I really wanted to keep the look like more of a natural glam, so I definitely didn't want to go too heavy on the brows. By the way, I am using the Brow Is in medium brown. I forgot to mention that. But now moving on to the eyes, I'm going in with the Anastasia Soft Glam palette. I love this palette. Every single look that I've done with this palette, I feel like just ends up looking so pretty, and the name really suits it well. So I figured it would be perfect to use on Monica today. So I'm starting off with the shade Burnt Orange. And Monica does have a little bit of a smaller lid space. So as you guys can see, I'm taking the crease shade and the transition up a little bit higher. And then I want it to be kind of like a really intense V on the outer corner, just to define more of a lid and to fake that bigger lid space, like I said. Adding a bit more definition to Monica's eyes, I'm going in with the shade Rustic on my Morphe M433, and as you guys can see, I'm concentrating this really on the outer V of the eye and then dragging this up into the crease. Like I mentioned before, I just think that this technique and shaping the eye this way is a really great way to fake a bigger lid space on someone who has a slightly smaller lid. So I'm just going to kind of be placing the color and blending it out at the same time, and then I will be going in and blending that out with a fluffier brush. I believe that this is the Sigma E40. Right here, I'm just touching up her brows. Once I had some of that shadow down, I realized that I wanted to make some spots of her brows just a little bit more intense, but it's always better to kind of go along and touch up the brows instead of doing a really bold brow in the beginning. I always like to go ahead and fix it as needed. So now for the lid, I'm taking the shade Glistening from the Soft Glam palette, and I'm packing this on with a Morphe G15 brush, and I did spray this with a little bit of setting spray just to intensify the shade. And as you guys can see, again, going back to enhancing the lid, I'm just pulling up on her brow a little bit, and this is really going to help me shape the lid and kind of almost do a little bit of a cut crease. I don't want to necessarily do a cut crease because I'm not going for that intense of a look. I just kind of want to create that shape right up there as you guys see me doing here. To highlight the brow bone, I'm going in with the shade Tempera from the palette on my favorite Morphe brush ever. I believe this is the E55. This is my favorite brush for underneath the brow bone. I've had it for years and it's just held up so well. Definitely one of my favorite brushes for this step. So right now I'm going to be doing some mascara on Monica, and she has the most amazing lashes. So this was a really easy step. Her lashes were just so curled. I didn't even have to curl them, and I only did about one coat of mascara. So you guys are going to see how amazing her lashes are in about 2 seconds. They got so long, so quick. I'm so jealous. Moving on to skin and working on her complexion, Monica has really beautiful skin and it is pretty normal. She's not too dry or too oily, so I figured I would go in with the Touch in Sol No Problem Primer. For me, this is a very just like normal primer. It adds a little bit of something to the skin, but I don't feel like it's overly drying or overly hydrating. So just gonna go in and smooth out her face with that. So here I was trying to match her foundation. This video was very last minute, so we didn't have anything that really matched her, so I was trying to darken one of my foundations because she's really tan. I was trying to darken it with a deeper concealer, so this is the best that I got. I really wanted to keep the foundation lightweight anyway. As you guys can see, I'm blending it out with my beauty blender just to keep it sheer. She has really cute freckles and stuff like that that I wanted to show through, so I tried to keep the foundation as light as possible but still evening out the complexion. Going in with a deeper concealer to cream contour. Like I said, the foundation was a bit light on her, and when I find that the foundation is a little bit too light for one of my clients or even on myself, I think cream contouring is a great way to bring back some of that color and to bronze up the face because it is a cream on the cream. It's going to mix in really nicely and really help alter the shade of the foundation. And of course, it adds a little bit of an extra glam look when you do the contouring underneath a powder contour. So right now I'm just going to do that with the LA Girl Pro Concealer. I'm not exactly sure what shade I use, but I will have that linked down below for you guys, and then I'm just blending that out with my beauty blender. To conceal underneath her eyes and highlight the center of her face, this is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. This was a little bit too dark of a concealer on me just for my personal preference, so I thought it would work for her, but as you guys can see, it was still a bit too light, but that's okay. We're working with what we got. So now I'm just going to blend that out with my beauty blender again. I definitely think concealer is just a crucial step no matter what kind of look you do. It just really cleans up the look. It makes everything look nice and crisp, and especially to clean up the eyeshadow. I love it. It's one of my favorite steps in the makeup routine. So I'm just going to go ahead and blend that out like I said, and then I'm going to be setting that with the Catrice Prime and Fine Mattifying Powder. Monica does have slightly drier skin, a little bit drier than normal, I would definitely say. So I didn't want to go too heavy with the powder, but I still didn't want her makeup to budge. So I'm just going in really lightly with the brush and setting around her nose, underneath her eyes, and then lightly dusting this all over the rest of her face. So when I'm doing someone's makeup and I see that their skin is looking a bit dry, I like to go in with a setting spray or a fixing spray kind of in a couple of different steps. So I like to do it in the beginning, and then I also like to do this middle step is before, right after I set the face, right after foundation and everything, I like to go in with the spray and then just pat it in with the beauty blender to really melt everything into the skin and to add another layer of hydration. And then of course I'm going to do it at the end as well. To bronze up her skin, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Chocolate Gold Bronzer. I'm going to be using this on her today because it is a nice, deep, rich bronzer, and it does have a little bit of luminosity in there as well, and I wanted to bronze, and of course I wanted to sculpt her face, but I really wanted to add like a really pretty, dewy finish, something soft and subtle at the same time, so that's why I chose to use this bronzer on her. And of course, like I said, my foundation was a bit too light, so I wanted to bronze her up and add that color back into her skin. And then to contour, again, I'm using the Anastasia Contour Kit and just hitting the backs of her cheekbones. I'm just doing a little bit. I didn't want to contour her too heavily because I wanted to keep the look more on the quote-unquote natural side, but I just wanted to add a little bit of a chisel to her cheeks to complete the look. Going back to her under eyes, I'm just taking Burnt Orange from the palette and just lightly running this underneath the lash line. I didn't want anything too heavy, just to add a little bit of definition underneath the eye. Dipping into another palette really quickly, I wanted to use this matte white that is in this ColourPop Yes Please palette, just because I wanted a true matte white for her inner corner, just to keep things simple and to brighten up her eyes a little bit. And then also moving on to highlighter, because I know Mon likes highlighter once in a while, and we all love to glow. So this is the Fenty Beauty Killawatt Highlighting Duo in Lightning Fire Crystal and Lightning Dust. I always get that confused. And I'm taking this on my Morphe M501 and just hitting the top of the cheekbones, as well as her Cupid's bow, and a little bit on her nose and her forehead as well. Just finishing up the eye look using some lower lash mascara. Again, this is the Essence Lash Princess. And then moving on to her lips, this is the Wet n Wild Bare It All lipstick. I've been really loving this lipstick lately, so I wanted to try it out on her. And I thought it looked really pretty since she is a little bit more tan. This was more of a light nude on her, but I really loved how it looked. It was just a perfect flush of color for her lips and something that I knew that she would like. She definitely wouldn't like anything super intense, so I knew that this would be perfect. But I did want to make it a little bit glossy, even though she doesn't like gloss, and she probably hated me for doing this, but I added just a little bit of the Fenty Gloss Bomb on top just to add a little bit of a sheen to her lips. And then I just went ahead and finished off the look using some MAC Fix Plus to set her face. And that is going to complete this video of me doing Monica's makeup. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and also make sure you guys are subscribed before you leave. Make sure that you guys have my notifications on. That way you guys will get notified every single time that I upload a new video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. And of course, I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.